Associate at Norton Rose Fulbright. In some other news, the African Energy Indaba is currently underway in Sandton, Johannesburg, and is highly relevant to companies actively involved in all areas relating to showcasing solutions for the benefit of Africa. Joining me to discuss the regional projects and what it means for regional integration, challenges and opportunities is Tsidiso Disenyana, who is a senior economist at Export Credit Insurance Corporation. Tsidiso, thanks so much for your time. I mean, it would be hard to believe that, it is business as usual in South Africa with everything that's been going on politically. But the Africa Indaba, you say, is currently underway. And talk to me about these regional projects that are being discussed there.
Well, we do believe that there's huge resources in the continent. We have the sun, we have the water, we have the gas, we've got the coal and many other resources. And at the end of the day, we do fail to harness those resources and provide energy to our people and to our companies. And the approach that we believe that is quite the right one is to have kind of, cross-country energy projects, but that's a big, difficult issue to do. And what you really need to ensure happens is that you need financing for all of this. We know that most of our governments in the continent are physically constrained. They cannot inject capital into some of these projects. And even our commercial private institutions, they are also constrained because of Basel III capital requirements. Now you need other entities to act as crowding in, I would say, a partner to ensure that other private investors do participate in these projects. And what has been happening over the years, we know that export credit agencies as the risk mitigants into these big ticket power infrastructure projects have been the ideal partners to crowd in private investment. Now, this is more at a regional level. The issues are that who is going to lead if it's a regional project. Do the authorities or the governments have the capability to execute this project? Is there any funding available to execute this project? Those are the big key items that we have to sort out.
What do you think, though? Who is going to lead? And do governments have the capabilities to lead on such critical projects like this?
The way to go is triple P arrangements. The key capital investment that is required is more on the generation part in order to power off most of the economies. I would say about 40 billion US dollars is needed on an annual basis up to 2040, and governments don't have that kind of money. Private investors and in particular IPPs are the ideal partners to inject capital into these projects for generation, and governments can act as off-takers on those projects. But be that as it may, you need to have cost-reflective power purchasing agreements to ensure that investors or private companies do participate in the market. And one of the key challenges, even if you do have IPPs being involved across the value chain, is downstream, where you ensure that there's revenue streams to pay off the financial obligations which have been incurred by the private partners. So we need to look into that.
For sure, man. But are there also opportunities for small businesses to also engage in this? I mean, this is really a lot of money, but obviously as a small business, you don't really come with that capital. How are governments or how are stakeholders having that conversation about including more small businesses?
Yes, these are big ticket items, and you have big corporations engaging in EPC contracting, that is engineering, procuring and commissioning these projects. We do believe that there's opportunities for small entities to piggyback on the operations of big companies, and also in sourcing components that goes into these projects. We have a lot of electrical component manufacturing companies across the continent, but in particular here in South Africa. And if we can ensure that those companies, their procurement of those electrical capital equipment is directed and earmarked to these projects, they should be able to improve somewhat and be able to gather some experience in executing these projects.
Well, Sidiso, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for all that information. That was Sidiso Disenyana, who's a senior economist.